All right. So before we start this, I want to give you a little bit of overview about what's going to happen tonight as well. I want to tell you a story. First off, we are doing a traditional Victorian seance, sort of like how it would have been done back in the 1800s at the height of the spiritualist movement, using the old methods and, of course, using the Ouija board, or what was automatic writing back in those days, as a form of communication. So the idea of everybody's energy combining at once to stir up the spirits of a haunted location and hopefully communicate with the other side. That's what we're all about tonight. Now, you know, during the tours that I was meeting earlier, that when we got up to the attic, I mentioned that I used to read a poem during those tours, but I don't do it anymore. And there's a reason for that. Something happened during these seances that caused me to stop reading the poem on the tour. It has to do with some communication that came through on the Ouija board. It came from a specific spirit. Whenever this energy would flow through the board, it always circled the letters. It never pointed at them. It was a show of power. And it did that because it wanted us to take note. Now, we did take note, not just because of what it was saying, but also because of what it was causing to happen. With the groups around the board, and the only way I can describe this is a word that I personally hate, because it's been bastardized by horror movies for years. The only word is possession. Now, it is nothing like what you would see in, say, the movie The Exorcist. There's an outside energy that is trying to mingle with your own living energy. That's all it is. And how your body reacts to this, in our experience, you may not be able to move your arms and legs for a little bit. You'll have that feeling of being paralyzed. You may also get sick to your stomach, and on a couple of occasions we've had people throw up because of it. But after a while, that feeling then passes, and they're okay. So there's no throwing up pea soup at random moments or peeing on the floor. That doesn't happen. But it happened a couple times during these seances. After that energy came through, I'm doing the seance, and I would hear a noise from behind me on this side of the room. It's a young lady, and she's not feeling well. And then a couple people over, another young lady, and she's not feeling well. So we stopped the seance. The psychic would go do the clearing, and then we would continue. This would happen for months straight. This is about 1.5 years ago that it started. And then it kind of cultivated on one specific night. We're doing the seance. Marcel is our main psychic that evening. And the board spells out very clearly, Marcy, start working. So I look over to Marcel. She doesn't like to be called Marcy, by the way, so that was kind of a shot at her. I look over and I say, are you getting a job? Are you starting a new job or something? Is that why it said that? And she's like, I'm retired. I'm not getting a new job. And that's when I realized what had happened. Because the minute that I had asked that question, I hear that noise again. There's a young lady in the group who was making the noise because she's not feeling well. And then another one. And then another one. The reason that the board said start working to Marcy is because it knew it was about to possess those girls. And Marcy was the one who had to clear them. So after that, I gathered a small group around me, making sure that there were no young ladies between the ages of 16 to 22, because that seemed to be the focal point for this energy. And in that circle, I would ask the question, why are you so angry? Why do you want to do this to us? And it would clearly state only one word, home. She didn't want the poem ever being told again. Because in that poem, it makes her seem like the devil himself. She hates it. So I promised never to tell the poem on the tours again. This is about a decade of history that I would then throw away because the spirit asked me to do it. And as one final, I told you so, at the end of that session, I hear the noise again. I turn around, and a 16-year-old girl had snuck into the circle without me seeing, and now she was starting to shake. She would feel sick, run out the front of that building, and promptly throw up. That was the last time it ever occurred. That's about 1.5 years ago, as I mentioned. However, I tell this story for the sole reason that I want to issue a warning. Any young ladies between the age of 16 to 22 years old, if you are in the circle right now, it is very possible that this energy will focus on you. We believe it's because it's the Dark Lady's energy. We also believe she was about 18 years old when she died. So that's the same energy that she's reaching out to. And I do that warning as well to state, if you are now uncomfortable, you are a woman and you are between those ages, feel free to leave the circle if you would like.